Today, Mr. Famous Taylor, he is here to discuss his Scarlet Chess Club, but it goes deeper than that. He was here once before, and we only did a partial segment, and I felt like this conversation needed to be extended because we had actually an extended conversation off the air, and I wanted him to share some life application, how chess relates to life in essence, and so I am going to attempt to play, but I will at least give it a great try. So good morning, Mr. Taylor.
Good morning.
And so we thank you for coming. We've had some mix-ups before in scheduling, but we got it right today. All right, so let's start out by, again, reintroducing your Scarlet Chess Club and how did you get that started? What was your inspiration for that?
Well, I started the chess club in 2006, I believe, or 7.
Okay.
But I've been playing chess since I was 12.
Okay.
A friend of mine and I, we introduced ourselves to the game. We taught ourselves how to play one afternoon at school, and I've been playing ever since.
Oh, wow.
The Scarlet Chess Club came about. I had a professor at ASU, Dr. Gregory Hansen.
He was just here a couple days ago.
And that was a story that we were reading. I think it was Lysistrata or some other folklore. And in the story, there was people playing chess.
Okay.
And he asked the class if anybody played chess. And there were a few, but he and I had an in-depth conversation about chess. He explained to me how another professor was trying to get a chess club started at the university, but had no traction with it. So at that point, he suggested that I start the club, so I did, and we've been going 10 years strong now.
That's wonderful. So does Dr. Hansen still come around and play with you sometimes?
Absolutely. He's actually still our, we have a branch on affiliate at ASU called the ASU Scarlet Chess Club.
Okay.
And he's actually the faculty advisor for that organization.
I'm going to have to remember to ask him about that. He was here on Tuesday, but they were just him and another student and a lady from the Downtown Association were discussing an upcoming project. But I'm going to have to ask him about the chess aspect.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get started with life applications in relation to chess, and then next, let's start out introducing the pieces, and also introduce the pieces.
All right. Well, for most chess players, the pieces are really the basis of the game. If you know how all the pieces move, typically you'll get a basic understanding of the game of chess. There are 32 pieces on the board. You have, each side has 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, a queen, and a king.
I might need to write this down. Okay.
And then all the pieces have different power levels or different moves that they make. For example, the rook or castle moves vertically and horizontally on the board. The knights move in an L shape. It moves 2 spaces in any direction and over 1 space in any direction. The bishops, you have 2 bishops, 1 dark square bishop, 1 light square bishop.
Which is this piece here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the light square bishop stays on the light squares. The dark square bishop stays on the dark squares. Those pieces only move diagonally.
Wow.
The queen, which is the most powerful piece on the board, she can move in any direction, vertical, horizontal, or diagonal on any color.
Okay.
And although the king is the most important piece on the board, it is limited in the number of spaces it can move. It can move only 1 square at a time in any direction.
Okay.
Now, although the pawns are the most minimal piece on the board as far as value and power, they can also be the most important pieces on the board. Because if you get a pawn to your opponent's last rank, it can promote to another piece. It can promote to a rook, a knight, a bishop, or a queen.
So if you get your pawn, like right now, from where I'm looking, yours is on 2.
Yes.
And so if you move it anywhere past the 7?
If I get it to your 8th rank, or your 1st rank for black, then I can promote it to any of these other pieces. With the exception, I can't leave it a pawn, and I cannot make it a king. But any other piece, a rook, a knight, a bishop, or a queen, I can promote it to either of those pieces.
Okay, so this small piece cannot go to this middle piece, which is the king.
Correct.
Okay, but it can take any place, any
Yes.
other place. Oh.
It can take the form of any other piece.
Okay, so my brain, I'm always trying to find that relation to real life and, games. So this could possibly represent someone on the lower end of what we call the socioeconomic spectrum, in the lower end of in the poverty level, poor class, whatever you want to call it, low income class. It doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end up in life.
Exactly.
And the moves you make to get to where you want to go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And just because with the king, this, between the king and the queen, two of the most powerful pieces, just because they're in their position, don't mean they can't get knocked. Well, the king can't get knocked down. Or kind of explain. Give me some more.
The king gets captured. Well, and for some of us, we like to say, he gets decapitated or killed or whatever.
Okay.
When he's captured, because once you capture your opponent's king, the game is over.
Oh wow.
So, but to shine another light on the pawns, not only if I can promote it. It has a special move called en passant or en passing.
Okay.
If I advance my pawn to your 5th rank, and you decide to advance one of yours that's immediately beside or adjacent to it to your 5th rank as well, I can capture it by in passing, which I would occupy the square that it skipped over, and then I could capture the pawn.
Oh, wow.
So the pawn, although it's like I said, the minimal piece on the board, it has unique properties and values or moves that it can make, promotion and en passant. But that's the only one that can do that. Also, on the first move with the pawn, it can move 1 square or it can move 2 squares. And now, you mentioned that the pawns could be representative of someone that on the lower economic spectrum of society or whatnot.
Okay.
I would prefer to look at them as someone that's just getting started in their life.
Okay. Okay.
And then determining which direction that they would be willing to travel in order to get to where they need to be. For example, if I get it all the way down to the 8th rank, it can get promoted to another pawn, a piece, rook, bishop, knight, or a queen. But the direction is if they want to take 1 square at a time on that first step, stepping out on faith, or if they want to take that first step, finishing school or whatnot, getting a degree or whatever.
Okay.
Or if they want to jump right into the mix of things and just go straight into trying to start a business or jump straight into a career by bypassing college or whatnot, depending on what type of skill level and experience that they have. Right. And while they're on that job, if they want to continue to work forward to get to that final position, to get promoted to a queen or supervisor or husband or wife or whatever the case may be.
Oh wow. Okay. And so that's a reminder for those in higher level positions or higher statuses in their life. Don't get too comfortable where you are, because someone can come in and knock you down.
Absolutely.
And some people that are in higher positions, they get too comfortable and cocky. I hate to say cocky. Comfortable and cocky, or arrogant. There you go. And they feel like, well, nobody can touch me. I can't be knocked down. But we have seen time after time, people have gotten knocked down off their high horse, in essence, because they got too comfortable and thought, if I keep my foot on someone's neck long enough, then I can kill their drive and ambition. But some people you cannot. You can never kill that.
Right.
Okay. And so let's talk about how, like a lot of individuals you work with are children. Well, I say children, youth, the youth population. Right. So in the course of playing, do you have these same discussions with them as well?
Well, in general, no, but depending on the circumstance and situation.
Okay.
I used to work for a residential treatment facility for young boys.
Okay.
And several of them, to my surprise, knew how to play chess.
Okay.
But there's a difference in knowing how to play chess and actually knowing how to play chess.
Okay.
And I know it sounds like the same thing, but if I know how the pieces move, if I know I can do 2 on the first move with my pawn or 1 on the first move, that's an understanding of how to play chess.
Okay.
However, if I have an in-depth understanding of the game of chess, which would, say for example, the Sicilian Dragon opening variation, or the King's Gambit, or the Queen's Gambit accepted, or the King's Gambit accepted, all these different types of openings. Also knowing the different tricks of the trade, such as zaps and traps in the game of chess, because there's a duplicity, if you would, of variations on every move that you make.
Okay, because you're speaking Chinese to me right now.
So, but
Wow.
with all of that, it depends on the level of understanding that an individual has, depending on how I go in depth as to explaining chess as it relates to life or anything else. Like, as I worked in the youth facility, there was a lot of young boys that were just angry at life because of situations with family, or having to understand that, okay, my mom didn't want me, she put me up for adoption,
Okay.
or my dad didn't want me, he abused me or whatnot, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And chess was, to me, or for them as well, an outlet, a way for me to communicate with them. Is to, you don't have to always live in that moment. You can get beyond that.
Okay.
Or, hey, instead of dwelling on this moment, what's your next move? Okay, what are you going to do when you get out of this place? What are you going to do while you're here to get out of this place? How are you going to make your life better so that when you get out of here, what's your next move?
One thing I noticed with chess, you have to be very calculated with your moves as well.
Absolutely.
Same as with life. Okay, when you play with someone who's a total novice, what is one of the first things they want to do, or one of the first mistakes they make? Which piece do they want to try to... Can you move any of these pieces without moving the ones in front first?
Yes, the only piece that can jump over anything are the knights.
Which are the horses.
Yes, ma'am. And they move in the L shape. They move up two spaces in any direction.
Okay.
And then over one space in any direction.
Okay.
For example, for my chess heads, if my knight starts off on G1, I can jump it to G2, G3, then I can move it over to F3 or H3.
Okay.
And from that point, I can move it from G3, I can go H3, E3, then I can move it to E4 or to E1 if that square is available for occupation.
Okay. So it can move in various, as long as up, over and over.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot to encompass with the knights. Let me move this off the board for a second.
Okay.
If I put both my knights together on opposite squares,
Okay.
they cover 16 squares.
Wow.
It's an 8 square radius for each knight. So it covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. Okay, now if you notice all the squares that the knight sits on a blue square now.
Okay.
And all the squares that it covers or defends or attacks, depending on the situation, are white. Now if I put the knight on the white square,
Okay.
it also encompasses 8 squares around it.
Wow.
So if I can work my knights together, that encompasses 16 squares. So now if you want to look at it from a perspective of life, you can look at it that if you are two knights, you and your mate or whatever, and if you guys work together, how much more you can accomplish in life if you guys work together. Because alone you only cover 8 squares. But if you two work together, you'll encompass 16 squares. So in essence, you'll get twice as much taken care of.
Wow.
You can cover twice as much territory. You can have twice as much income. You can have twice as much discipline or correction or nurturing for your kids. You can have twice as much involvement in the community if you guys work together. You can, affect twice as many people depending on your situation and their situation in life.
Wow. So working alone with just one night,
Yes, ma'am.
you're limited. Same as, say marriage, business, relationship,
Right.
any type of relationship you're in or partnership you're in. Working alone, you only get so far, but working together, you get much farther. This is one thing that, we hear talked about, especially within the Black community. We have enough talent and skills and know-how to do so much.
Absolutely.
But many individuals don't want to work together because they have this mindset where they're doing better than me.
Right.
Versus let's pool our resources and our intellect and then come up together.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But the knights are not the only two pieces that work together. Like I was saying earlier, the bishops are
Okay.
they're set on 2 specific colors. You got one dark square bishop, one light square bishop.
Okay.
They cannot get off of those squares, and they move on those directions diagonally, on those squares diagonally in any direction. And also, the number of squares that bishops cover are limited based on the relationship on the board. If I have them in the center of the board, they cover more squares because those are the longer diagonals.
Okay.
If I place them on the edge of the board, there are fewer diagonals because they're at the edge of the board.
Okay.
Now, depending on how you look at it from this perspective is if you're in a career and you're trying to make career moves. But if you don't take that effort or put forth the effort to move from that one position, then you're going to be limited in what you do. So basically, what I'm saying is that you not only have to be centralized in what it is that you do, or it's not centralization what I'm thinking about, it's if you don't branch out and have more than one avenue or more than one skill set to offer on that job, you're going to be stagnant in that position and you're not going to be able to move as far. But if you do continual education, continual job improvement, or to continue to improve yourself on that specific job, then you have an opportunity to move in different positions within the company. For example, with myself and the company that I work for, we have a career path. Because now I started off as a unit manager, but my next level would be a district manager. However, if I'm, and this is just me personally, if I don't feel that I'm proficient enough at being a unit manager, what would be the purpose of me moving to a greater position and I'm still in that same mindset that I am as a unit manager versus, okay, now I'm ready for this position, so let me go ahead and put in for my promotion and get promoted to this next level. Because if, for example, in a relationship, if I'm just boyfriend material, why would I want to promote myself to husband material? If I'm not ready as a boyfriend, if I can't provide for you, if I'm not ready to have a family or children, if I don't have a stable job, if I don't have my own transportation, if I don't have my own spot, my own crib, my own place to stay, if I can't give you those things that you need as a husband or wife or whatnot, why would I want to promote myself to put myself in that position without having the means to provide for that position?
Wow. And I don't think people look at it like that. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, and this is geared towards women. Don't do wifely duties for someone who's not your husband. You know, perform wifely duties. And some people are like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, okay, you're living together, you're cooking for him, you're fixing his plate, you're doing laundry, you're doing all these things that a spouse would do. Not to say, okay, you should do nice things for your boyfriend, girlfriend, but there is a certain level when you can go too far. And then they start expecting it, and then, okay, if your goal is to get that ring and paper, and that's not their goal, then you're giving the best of yourself to someone who's not giving the best of themselves.
Absolutely. Basically, you're wasting time. And that's indicative of chess, because if I'm sitting here and I have my knight here and I just jump my knight here, I jump my knight there, I jump my knight here, I jump it back, I jump it here, I jump it. If I'm just going back and forth with one piece, I'm wasting time in development. You know, which is the same thing. You know, if I'm wasting my time in developing myself as a husband or anyone as a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, you know, then I'm not going to make any progress. While everybody else around me are developing, having families, buying homes, getting second jobs to make sure they're living debt free, all these other things. But while I'm still out here just trying to make moves instead of just moving, then I'm not going to get anywhere. So.
And I hear a lot of people, I've encountered people, they're all talk. I want to do this, I want to do that. They'll look up something, they'll research, they may put an application here, but then they let it fade away. They're not very serious about it. But then they'll keep, going this path. And I found myself at times on that path. I was comfortable in a position, and it wasn't until opportunities start passing me. Well, I say I got passed up, but I look now as I'm mature, I look back and I realize I allowed that to happen to me because I didn't put my all into what I was doing. I worked at a retail store, and other people were getting promoted to what they call front end. It wasn't Walmart, but it was still a front end manager for the cashiers, and I got passed over, and I'm like, okay, what am I? I've been here longer, I have more experience. Why did I get passed over? But looking back now, I realize I didn't make the necessary moves.
Absolutely.
Coming in on time, being more proficient with my teal, or keeping my area as, I didn't do those little bitty things that managers look at to say, okay, why should I pick this person for that position? And we're going to have to get ready to take a break. I'm
Okay.
totally enjoying this conversation. So I want to thank everybody out there that's watching our live stream. And Miss Mabel Prunty said I had it all wrong as a kid. All right, Mabel, well, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you're learning something today. And everyone else, please do not go away. I'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
How do you tell your spouse something they don't want to hear? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. In a letter. That's right, a letter. When you write something out, you usually give it more thought and are more careful with the words you put on paper. Your spouse will probably receive it better as well, since they can read it over and then think about it privately, and you won't be there to argue with. So when I want to address a sensitive subject with my wife, something she might have said that offended me, something about our finances, or something that just rubbed me the wrong way, I get out the pen and paper to express myself. Try it. You'll be encouraged by the results and relieved that you avoided an argument. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Twitter? You can. Follow him at twitter.com/Mark Merrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, under the direction of Bishop Adrian Rogers and co-pastor Susan Rogers. www.fjministries.org.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're talking with Mr. Famous Taylor and his he's here. Talking about chess. He is the owner, I guess you say, of the Scarlet Chess Club, or founder of the Scarlet Chess Club. And so we're talking about life applications today. He's trying to teach me. I'm trying to learn. I know it's going to take more than 1 hour to really get the gist of the game, but I am absorbing as much as possible, taking a few notes, and I'm really, really enjoying this conversation. And we have another Facebook shout out from Keisha Hagan. So this show has been great. I love the comparison of chess and relationships. Awesome. And good morning, Miss Nora Hunt. Kaylee K, love you too. Hope you're having fun in Texas. All right, so let's get back into where we left off. We were talking about the pieces and what they represent, and the moves can be limited or expanded versus where you are on the board.
Right. Well, I just set up a basic position right here. It's indicative of a Queen's Gambit decline, a different variation. But if you think about it, the bishops move on a diagonal, and wherever the piece is directed is what it's attacking. And now the knight is jumped out, so the bishop has the knight pinned against the king, and all at the same time, the pawns are attacking and defending one another. The knight is attacking and is defending. So, but in this position, if you want to compare it to life situations, the knight is standing in the bishop's way to capture the king. However, the bishop is stopping the knight from making any type of an advance. So in life, sometimes we have people that are standing in our way to keep us from making advances.
Wow.
Whether or not it's a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a family member, a co-worker, or just a close associate. You know, they always say there will always be haters. So if you have someone that's in your life that's blocking you from making it to one place or another, or if you have someone that's always trying to be a buzzkill or a party pooper, or always have a negative outlook on things, then, you know, maybe you need to move that person out of your life or out of your situation. There are so many different things and different ways that, you know, life can make drastic changes.
You're definitely right about that. We may be in a position of course I'm still learning a lot, but okay, this is the night.
Yes.
So we may be in an advanced position in life, but an illness can happen, loss of job can happen, loss of a spouse. Anything can happen in this position, so you can get knocked down, pushed back. Now, once a piece advances, though, at this point, someone else, an opponent, can come and wipe them off the board. Absolutely.
That's why I set this position up. For example, white always moves first, and I think black make the last move in this position. So if I take this knight and I jump it over here, I'm also attacking this knight. The white knight is attacking the black knight. However, the black knight cannot attack back because the bishop would be attacking his king, and the king would be in check. So now, depending on how you want to look at this situation, if you want to look at it from the aggressor side or your side, if you want to look at it for those that are standing in the back looking in, or the person that's going against you that's trying to hold you back. Okay. Now, and then let me hang on a second and just put this from several different perspectives. Okay, now let's say, for example, the knight and the bishop are in a relationship. Okay, now the knight can do several things. Now I can capture this knight and threaten the queen with the knight. The knight is in the L shape, 1, 1, 2. So I'm attacking the queen. Now if the pawn captures the knight back, say that's the husband or the wife or whatever. So if they lose their job or somebody interferes and put them out of the picture for a minute, then I can capture it back. And now I got the king in check. And I'm also attacking the castle over here. So not only, you know, did the knight make the sacrifice so that I can make the advancement, so now I'm attacking here and attacking there as well. So that's kind of indicative of being in a relationship. You know, if we work together, whether one of us are down or not, we can both still succeed. We can both still be successful. We can both still make advances. It's just a matter of which direction and how we want to proceed in that position. Okay.
Wow. I am learning so much, and I hope everyone is really paying attention, and maybe some of those that really know how to play chess are like, okay, I get it now. So let's talk about making rookie moves. I know we touched on it a little bit before, but making rookie moves.
Beginner
moves that can be potentially
fatal.
Yes. Have you ever played a game with someone they were only able to make maybe 1, 2, or 3 moves and the game was over? Like how?
Well, there is a, I forget what it's called, but there is a checkmate that you can do in 3 moves.
Okay.
But, you know, you have to be kind of like absolutely no good at chess, basically, or an absolute beginner. So if I push my pawn here and they push there, that's 1 move. And if I jump my pawn here and they jump there, that's 2 moves.
Okay.
And on my 3rd move, I pull my queen right here, and this is checkmate. For the simple fact, they have nothing to interpose in the middle to block my queen from killing the king or attacking the king. So there's no way that they can defend against that.
Okay. So as we talked about earlier, playing chess is very calculated.
Absolutely.
You have to be, and just like with life, you can't just jump out. Okay, like most kids at 18, they have so much drive and ambition. I want to do something. I want to get out of my mama's house. I want to live my life. I don't want to follow any rules. Like I just want to go. Okay, they jump out. Let's take this as a teenager. They're here, so they're just out of high school. But they want to jump way up here. I want to move to another state. I want to, do this job that I have no skills for. I don't know. I want to move out the house. So they're way up here, out of the protection.
Well, the position that I just showed, the 3-move checkmate.
Yes.
This will be indicative of someone leaving home early. Checkmate.
Wow.
Because once they get out there, they don't have a skill set. They don't have a support structure. They don't have income. You know, they don't have anything to follow up with. So they're in a position where, because typically if I get checkmated and I'm just out there, I have to start all over again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a brand new game. So when you leave home, make sure you are prepared for what is out there at home. Now, granted, I wanted my kids out there. As soon as they graduate, get out, just leave. I don't want you anymore. You know. So, let me see. My girls are 27. So they've been out of school at least 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
Okay, but every time I turn around, guess where they are?
At daddy's house.
They're at home. Okay, but I mean, I don't have a problem with helping them out, but I'll help them in any aspect that I can. But support them, I will not, because they have their own children.
Okay.
Okay, now you're my child. Yes, that's my granddaughter. But if you want me to help you, I need you to put forth an effort to help yourself.
That's right.
And that's what a lot of these kids don't do. You know, they'll get out there and rip and run and think they God's gift to the world, and they don't have any given or known direction. Yes, they have that drive. Yes, they have that ambition. Yes, they have a direction set in their mind, but their actions are not indicative of what their mindsets are.
You know, I just watched a show. Mike and I were talking about this, but we're talking about a different aspect of it. I watched this show called The Get Down on Netflix, and there was this, one character. They called him Books in the show, and he knew he wanted to do music, and he had his mindset on, this is how I'm going to do what I want to do, along with the other characters who were into the hip hop. You know, as hip hop was coming onto the scene. They had their mindset, but they were going about it in a backwards kind of way. And that particular character, he ended up leaving home, living in a little shed or something, scraping by.
Abandoned building.
Yeah, and then he ended up, I don't want to give it away for those who may want to watch it, but he ended up having to swallow his pride. And, go back and, apologize for his actions with his family. And yeah, so is it possible? It is possible, but what advice would you give someone if they just want to jump out there? Like, okay, let's step back and, think about this. What advice, or how would you guide someone through making some of the right choices?
Well, I'm gonna say it just like this. If you are a teenager and you're still in school and you're thinking, man, when I graduate, I want to leave home. The first thing you need to do, particularly if you're 15, 16 years old and got 2 or 3 years left in high school, go out there and get you a job.
Okay.
Get a job. Get a job at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, KFC. Get you a job somewhere doing something that you can develop a good work ethic.
Okay.
But don't just go there just to be getting a paycheck. Go there and learn something.
Okay.
Learn, for example, me as in a management position, I have grill outs, I have servers that work for me, that work under me. And the thing of it is, you got a job that you can do. You know your job, but your job does not entail just serving customers, cooking orders. You have cleaning duties that you have to do. You have other duties that you have to do. Take care of the customers, keep the store clean, do your extra cleaning duties. It's not a whole lot, but these are part of your job. So when you go there, don't just go there to just do what you think your job encompasses. Do your complete job, whatever your boss tells you to do. But not only get you a job and develop good work habits, be dedicated to your job. Because once you get out there on your own, you're on your own.
Yes.
Some parents may, okay, baby, you can come back home. Okay, baby, that's fine. You can stay here for a little while. Get on your feet. I'm that parent. But make sure you're making the right moves to get on your feet, so that when you do get to the point where you might need somebody, then they're gonna be there. Don't be too prideful. And that's a lot of what have our kids today. Now, I'm gonna say this bit of advice that I always told my kids and tell them today. If you make the sacrifices now, if you give up the partying, if you give up the hanging out, if you give up all this other nonsense that these other kids are doing, and you work hard, put back your money, save your money, when you get to be 40, 50 years old, if you continue this work ethic through then and save your money, you don't have to wait till you're 65 to retire. You don't have to wait till you're 70 to retire. You can retire early.
Yes.
Now, that was my plan. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, so I'm still working.
Okay.
Because I should have been retired when I joined the military. I was 19.
Okay.
I should have retired at 39, and then I would have retired from my second job at 49.
Okay.
And then if I wanted to work a third job, I would be able to retire from that job at 59. So at that point, I would have 3 retirement incomes coming in.
Wow.
So, but again, like I said, unfortunately, I made some wrong moves at certain points in my life, you know, and I kind of got pushed back. But that's okay, because now I'm on the right path, I'm in the right direction. And I tell people this, and I would say this till the day I retire. If I only have 50 cents or $1 in my pocket when I turn 55, maybe 60 at the latest, I'm retiring. You know what I mean?
And it's simply you're retiring from, say, working a traditional job so that you can pursue what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I think a lot of people, like I said earlier, they have a lot of ideas, but they don't take the steps needed to actually make those ideas come to life.
Right.
I tell anybody I talk with, anybody I can, get a notebook, like physical pen and paper. It's one thing to have thoughts, but once you start writing your vision and start writing things down, it's like you're planting a seed and then giving, nurturing that seed to help it to grow. Okay, you want to do 3 things in life. Start researching. Look up who's done it before, how they did it, how successful it was. I've had this conversation with other people who run nonprofit agencies. They'll tell anybody, don't just say, I have an idea and I want to start a business. Look at what's already here. Okay, is it possible you can go work for that other agency first and learn the ins and outs, and then decide, okay, how can I expand on that and then start my own branch, maybe in another neighborhood or another town that needs something like that, instead of just having 2 of the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right in the same spot.
Right.
So it's about waiting your turn, getting that education, learning the ins and outs. Like you said before, when you go to a job, don't just go there just to do one thing. Learn, how can I advance in this position?
Learn everything. But just because you learn everything about a particular job doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get those promotions that you're wanting at that job.
Okay.
But that skill set that you learn at that job may carry you on to a different job that once, okay, I've done everything at this job, they're overlooking me for promotion. Okay, so what is out there that I could do? Now you've acquired all of this experience on this one job. For example, I work for a conveyor company, and I learned every job from receiving to supply to brake press, punch press, shear, machine operator. I mean, I learned everything from the front door to the back door.
Okay.
Okay, now when there were jobs posted for promotions or whatnot in any of these departments that I knew that I was proficient in, I got overlooked for those promotions. Okay, I'm like, okay, now why am I not getting this job? Well, famous, you don't have enough experience. Bro, I've been doing this job for 2.5 years. How do I not have enough experience?
Wow.
And I went through this on a regular basis at this particular job. So, unfortunately, things didn't work out for me in that company. So they didn't think I needed to work there anymore. So I'm just going to leave that right there.
So a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For those that find themselves in checkmate, or making the wrong moves, how do they, I guess, revamp or revitalize themselves? Do they alter their perspective? Do they change their approach? What advice would you give to that person that has become checkmate?
Right. Well, if you become checkmated, that means game's over. So that means you have no more moves to make. Okay, so we'll just say once you get checked, once you get put in check.
Okay.
Once you get put in check, you can get out of check, but you can't get out of checkmate. But the thing of it is, if you find yourself in that type of position, yes, it's imperative that you regroup, rethink, and do things differently. Because, like I was saying earlier, if you don't try to see it from a different perspective, you're going to stay stagnated in that position. You're not going to get an opportunity to move. I mean, that's in relationships, jobs, anything that you do in life. Like Kabir was just talking about, for example, writing your ideas down on paper. Okay, great. That's a great idea to write your ideas down. I did the exact same thing. However, me writing my ideas down and not acting upon that is still not going to make any progress.
Yeah.
So if I write them down, I have to respond to that which I wrote down, because it's a question that I'm asking myself, or something that I'm telling myself I want. I want a chess club. My brother and I talk about doing a chess club for 20 plus years. We had plenty of opportunity. We just didn't know how to go about doing it.
Okay.
So I met Dr. Hansen at ASU in one of his classes, and he made the suggestion. So here I am 10 years later with the chess club. Same thing with me as far as, because I learned how to weld here several years ago, and I love welding. So my next venture is to design, develop, and build barbecue grills. Okay, now that's sitting right there on the back burner. However, until I'm in a position financially to be able to go out and purchase the equipment that I need, until I'm in a position financially to go out and just set up an account with a sheet metal company to where I can get my materials at a discounted rate, or prefabricated, so I don't have to do it myself, since I can't afford the equipment right now.
Okay.
Until I'm in a position to be able to do that, it's still an idea that's written down on that piece of paper.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I'm putting forth the effort to strive till I get to that point. Okay. Now once I get to that point, then okay, cool, let's build a barbecue grill. Let's see how it's gonna sell. If I can sell this first one for X amount of dollars, then I can take that X amount of dollars, now I can build 3.
Okay.
Now if I can build those 3 and sell them for X amount of dollars, cool, I then triple my income, then triple my profit. Okay, instead of building 3, now I can build 12. Okay. Now once I build those 12 and sell them for X amount of dollars, say $500 a piece.
Okay.
Okay, I done made $6,000.
Wow.
So now I take that $6,000 and invest it in myself, building barbecue grills. Now, not only do I have most of the equipment that I need, or I'm in a position to take this money to, hey, this is what I have, this is what I need. So now I have my collateral over here, or my down payment or whatnot, to get the rest of the equipment that I need. So now instead of building these 12 barbecue grills, I can build 120 barbecue grills.
Okay.
So now, I don't have this written down on paper, but I kind of have this file cabinet in the back of my head. You know, I file all this information away. You know, and I try not to forget too much, and I try, particularly when it pertains to me and my future. But if I'm not putting forth the effort, to answer your question, if they're not putting forth the effort, if they're not trying, and they do get checked, then all you gotta do is fall back, regroup, develop a plan, develop a budget, you know, revise your idea. Okay, this didn't work, so what do I need to do so it'll work next time? Basically, game of chess. Because if I don't,
I'm getting ready for break.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna get ready for break, and we're gonna come back and finish this. Sure. This is a wonderful conversation. This mic can go on. Unfortunately, we only have an hour today, but anyway, thank you so much for everybody that are tuning in. Please do not go away. Thank you for the live stream. Jonathan J. Hagan said, "Great show. Wish I would have known this when I was young." Hey, Fame is my old workout partner from Hydro. All right, Jonathan. We'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Many adult children are returning home to live with their parents, and more people who are related to each other are choosing to share residences, at least temporarily, to get through tough times. Whether willingly or grudgingly, you may be put into the position of considering this option. If so, follow these ground rules to keep both your finances and your family relationships intact. First, you need to be clear that they are not staying with you as family or guests, but as tenants, sharing your space. Follow that up with a written agreement clearly laying out rules, requirements, and expectations, and a deadline for when the living arrangement will end. Do not hesitate to make working a job, searching for employment, pursuing an education, or some combination of these a condition of their staying with you. After all, your goal should be to help your child or other relative transition back to independence, not create a new expectation of indefinite dependency on you. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Danny Ford, owner of Glen Saint Motors in Paragould, strongly believes in the values of family and hard work with a commitment to the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who keep America free, providing sales and servicing of Chevys, GMCs, Buicks, and Cadillacs, located at 6345 Highway 49 in Paragould. 870-565-4358. Details at glenstparagould.com and at klekfm.org. God bless our troops.
Arkansas Early Learning is accepting applications right now for childcare. We have locations all across Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org. That's arearlylearning.org. Right here in the community at no cost. Arkansas Early Learning offering kids a head start.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
From the KLEK Community Calendar, OES PHA, Eliza Murphy, number 395, presents Fish Fry, Saturday, July 29th, 2017. Plates will include 2 pieces of fish, spaghetti, slaw, bread, and dessert. This will take place from 11 o'clock a.m. until 3 o'clock p.m. at the E. Boone Watson Center, 1005 Logan Avenue in Jonesboro. More information is available at 870-919-6634. KLEK 102.5 FM wants to be active in the community. If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I wish you could join our off-air conversations. We just continue on. I really thank Mr. Famous so much for coming. He's really helped to open my eyes, and thanking him for sharing his knowledge and understanding and wisdom, I must say, with us concerning chess and how it relates to life. I hope that everyone out there is, getting something from this, and thank you to everyone who is watching our live stream. We really appreciate you. All right, so we were leaving off. Went into break, having a conversation. So let's pick up. Do you remember where we were?
We were talking about how if you get checked in life, how can you adjust to make the difference?
Yes.
All right. So in this position, this is the King's Gambit. The white opening is King's Gambit. The black defense is Queen's Indian defense against the King's Gambit.
Okay.
Now, the queen for black is going to come over here and check white's king. Now, in this position, I can do only one thing, or twice. I can move my king, or I can interpose my pawn.
Okay.
All right, so either way, it buys me more time. Now, if you want to put it in perspective to life, now, if I move the king over, it just puts me in a position to whereas the queen can come over and take that pawn and capture it.
Okay.
All right, so me moving may not be the best thing for me in life. So, but if I interpose this pawn, okay, now, black can take this pawn with their pawn, and I can't capture this pawn because my pawn is blocking the queen from keeping me in check. However, if we do that, then I can capture the queen with my pawn. Okay, now you asked me earlier about a beginning mistake. That would be a beginner's mistake to leave the queen there.
Okay.
I made that mistake a gazillion times. Okay, but to answer the question is, if you find yourself in a position in life where you don't think you can make any advances, or you check and you're trying to figure out what's going on, just sit back, reassess your entire situation. Just look back and see how everything is working out for you. Okay, for example, why did I get passed over for the promotion? Okay, what am I not doing that could have helped me get the promotion? Do I have enough education, and was that a factor? Okay, is it that the person that got the advance, are they better friends or better associates with the management team that promoted them? You know, not to throw the race card or anything out there, but is it because I'm black and they're white? Or is it because I'm white and they're black? Or is it because I'm Asian and they're Latino, or vice versa? You know, there are several things that you have to take into account to consider. Why did I get overlooked for this promotion? Why am I in a position where I can't make any progress being in a check position? So what do I need to do now to advance myself, or to make myself better, so that I can get an advance in this position?
Okay.
So,
oh wow.
It's kind of like this position here. How can I prevent that? Okay, I can't jump my knight because I'm still in check. So I can't interpose anything else, so I have to push that pawn. Pushing this pawn forces the queen to move. If it moves here, then I'm attacking it with my queen. If it moves back here, you know, it's safe. You know.
So you can move backwards?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Every piece on the chessboard can move backwards with the exception of the pawns.
Okay, so say the queen, you know, represents a higher position in your life. You know, you've gone to college, got a decent job, but you get here and you, here, and you kind of get stuck and like, okay, where do I go from here? I'm up against adversity.
Right.
Let me take a couple. Now, how far back? Do you have to go all the way back?
No, you can go back as far as you want.
So let me take a couple steps back in life, and let's reevaluate or reassess my situation.
Absolutely.
Where can I go? You know, okay, where can I go from here? What can I do different in my life?
Right.
But unfortunately, with the way the board is set up now, you can't go. Can you go over your own?
No.
Okay.
The only one that jumps over are knights.
So basically, you just take a step back. Let some other things happen or fall off or whatever. Right. Hopefully you don't get captured in this position. And then
that's always a possibility.
Oh, okay.
Now, again, to reiterate on her question, you know, it just depends on how you reassess and reevaluate that life or that situation. Just like with chess, I play a lot online, and here lately I've been losing like crazy because I get distracted.
Oh.
You know, I got so many other things going in my life right now. Not only my job, but you know, I got some health issues that I have to deal with. I mean, there's nothing major. You know, I got to have a knee surgery. I've been having problems with my ears and a bunch of other stuff. You know, so it's okay. Now my situation is okay. Now, do I want to continue to better my health, which is what I'm gonna do anyway, or do I want to try to strive to make myself better on this job, which I'm gonna do them both? But I have to put what's more important first. My health or this job, you know, my future, if I'm going to be able to retire early, or me getting my health fixed so I can retire, period, versus the alternative, you know.
Just working for the rest of your life.
As far as distractions go, off air, we did speak a little bit about discouraging people or whatever, I guess naysayers in our lives.
Absolutely.
How is it that, even if it's just related, how is it that you can overcome that? And it seems that the similarity between the two cases that we did speak of is that it catapulted the drive and the desire to even want to succeed.
Right. The main thing is it's going to be on an individual basis. You know, it's not just something that there is a formula for. You know, you have to determine within yourself, okay, where do I want to go from here? What's next for me? And I'm going to use myself as an example because, again, off air you talked about your education getting started late in life. Okay, I started school in 85, I think was the first time I started at ASU, 85, 86. I went for a year and a half and then I dropped out. Every year after, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to go back to school. So I graduated in 2010, the fall and the spring and the fall, with 2 degrees, my business management degree and my business administration. I started in 2006. I started in January 2006 and I graduated in May and December of 2010 with 2 degrees.
Okay.
And I mentioned to you earlier that I had my plate was full when I started school because I was doing I wasn't just doing a dual degree, I was doing a quad degree. Business management, exercise science, accounting, and engineering. And if the government would have paid for all of that, I would have finished.
Oh, wow. Okay, so again, it's never too late, but even though you have some different goals now, maybe somewhere along the line you can pick up some other courses. But all right, so we're down to our last 2 minutes, and I can't thank you enough. Any final thoughts you would like to give us, advice, tips and tricks to work out this life?
Well, the main advice that I would give is do not ever give up on yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody says, think, or how they feel about you. You are in control of your life. Just like this chessboard, I control this side of the board, my opponent controls that side of the board.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you beat me if I can help it. I'm going to put forth my greatest effort to succeed in destroying you. And that's the same thing in life. You don't have to try to beat up or destroy anybody. But the main thing is, what can I do to better myself? And I was reading this morning on Facebook where it says, sisters should not be trying to tear each other down, but they should be trying to help each other and build each other up. Mm-hmm. But that's not just for sisters or women in general. That's for everybody.
Yes.
And I sit back and I look at the Hispanics, I look at the Asians, I look at the white folks, I look at everybody. And we are, as black people, the only group of people that we do not work together to help each other build up. I sit back and watch the Hispanics. You got 4 or 5 families living in one house, and they will build that house, pay it off, and then that family will those families will move into another house, and they will continue this progress and this process until each family has their own homes.
I know a family personally because I work with a lady who was married to one. Different brothers, cousins, different types of business under the same umbrella.
Right.
They were able to work together, pool their money, and like you said, build together.
Right.
So hopefully we as a race of people can get it together.
We also have to teach each other that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
They've been instilled different things are within their history than it is within ours.
Right.
So we have to overcome those things in order to teach each other.
Amen. Amen.
It's not just so much as teaching, it's having the desire to do better for yourself. Not as an individual, but as a group of people.
Thank you for tuning in. Have a great
Thank you
day.
for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the